My name is Gary Painter. I'm a professor in real estate in the Lindner College of Business. I also hold the Baird Chair in Real Estate, and I am the academic director of the Center for Real Estate. Well, we're very excited to receive a research grant from the National Alliance to End Homelessness to better understand the characteristics that older adults who experience homelessness have, and therefore what sorts of treatments might enable them to become stably housed more quickly. The research is focused on not just older adults experiencing homelessness, but also older adults who have different identities, whether they are Black, white, Latino, whether they might be gay, straight, non-binary. Their identities, we have learned in the general population of experiencing homelessness, actually can affect the efficacy of different interventions. And so what we're trying to do in this research is look at the intersection of an older adult population and an older adult population that currently is disproportionately African American, and to see whether the interventions that we are attempting to deploy to help them actually are effective. This will really help students understand, what can be done, what should be done, and the fact that when we do reach out with systems of support, that they have to be deployed to meet individuals where they're at. And so someone who's older experiencing homelessness is going to have a very different point of need than someone who's younger. So what we learned during the pandemic is that we could place people in hotels and motel rooms very quickly, but for older adults who are experiencing homelessness, they needed not just a place to stay, they often needed healthcare professionals on site. And so when we're thinking about real estate solutions to address homelessness, we have to think about how we can embed services on sites. Well, we're excited to speak to multiple stakeholder groups with this research. So certainly we want to speak to people in Washington, D.C., so that we can actually align federal programs to make sure that we are promoting the strongest evidence-based practices to help people who are older, who are experiencing homelessness. That money can flow to local areas so that our local strategies to end homelessness can be most effective. But I think it's the people who are on the front line who are actually outreaching to people who are over 55 experiencing homelessness. They want to know how best to do that. They want to know what they need and how best to provide those services to them. And then finally, it needs to be emphasized that there remains what we use as a technical term, a disproportionality of Black people who experience homelessness who are also older adults experiencing homelessness. We see the same thing with Native populations here in the U.S. And so that might mean that the particular programs and services have to recognize and be sensitive to the fact that someone's identity as a Black person might need a slightly different set of tools in order to provide stability and to restore health.